what ends up happening sometimes is that people, instead of focusing on the basics like I just recommended, they try to do something else. They try to do something supernatural. They try to go to a tzaddik, or somebody that says he's a tzaddik, or mekubal. Say, maybe if I get the blessing of the mekubal, my brother will do tshuva. Maybe if I get the blessing and the special water and the red string or purple string or the kamea of the mekubal, then my wife will do tshuva, start putting some clothes on. Or my father will do this. Or my uncle, maybe this, maybe that. They start looking for a shortcut. And they ignore, in essence, not only they don't rebuke anybody, but they ignore rebuking themselves. They ignore their own tshuva. They figure, okay, I'm keeping Shabbat, I'm keeping a few basic stuff. I'm good. I'm on autopilot. I just got to get everybody else to catch up to me, as if they're okay. They're the level to catch up to. They forget about their own tshuva. This, Rabotai, is a very, very big mistake. Because relying on all of these mystical things to save your problems is another problem of itself. And many of these people that people go to are not only not mekubalim, but even if they are able to do something, usually they're using the kochot hatuma. They're using impure powers. And they create more problems than anything else. Now, how do I know this? We go to those same Rishonim. Same Rishonim that I just told you that they are walking like people with perfect vision, while the Achronim, the sages of recent generations, are walking like blind people. Us, we're like, I don't know what we are. We're like worms with no eyes. Blind is not even a description. We go to these Achronim, what they say. We go to the Rivash. Rivash lived in Barcelona 600 years ago. Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Sheshet. He had several Rabbanim. One of his, he was one of the Gedolei Ador. After his rabbis, which were the Gedolei Ador, passed, one of them was Rav Peretz HaKohen. And the Rivash answered a lot of things in regards to halacha. And one time somebody asked him a question. Kvod Harav, what do we do in regards to all of these special prayers that people do, that they add to their siddur? These things called kavanot. Well, it's this, if you look at specific names and letters, or you see an extra prayer above and beyond the norm. The extra stuff, small print, that a special siddur, that has special kavanot from the Arizal, and so on and so forth. Should we do all of those prayers or no? So in Siman Aleph, Amud Kuf Nun, he says, what do we do in regards to all of these special spirot and so on? He says, regarding all of these spirot, all of these holy names and special kavanot that are added to the sidurim, that are added to people, make themselves a little poster and read this special prayer above and beyond that some mekubal wrote to them, or some kamer that somebody gave them, and so on and so forth. The Rishon, the Rivash, says regarding all of them, we do not use them at all. And my Rav, he says, Rav Peretz HaKohen, would never even speak of them nor use them in any way, shape, or form. And I know that the Gdol Ador, Rabbi Shimshon Mikinozal, himself said, meaning somebody that's even before him and his rabbi, 700 years ago, himself says, what about all of these special kavanot, the special Kabbalah stuff? What about all that stuff? He says, when I pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu like a tinok. What's a tinok? A baby. What's a baby? What does a baby ask for, Hashem? Abba, give me some food. Abba, give me some candy. Abba, I want to go to the bathroom. the basic stuff, the simplest of all. Now, how could this be? The Arizal was Kodesh Kodashim. No one disagrees. The Mekubalim, I mean, all of these giants that I mentioned, they all knew Kabbalah. They all Mekubalim themselves. So how come they're saying they're not using this? What does it mean? In fact, they're saying now they're using it, they pray like a baby. So what's the idea? One of the ways that these fake Chabadniks fool people into believing that they're tzaddikim and they know better than everybody else. And it's not just fake Chabadniks, it's also other fakers. I mentioned Chabad because it's unfortunately, again, like I said, more common and more, just more of them teaching this type of stuff, is by teaching people mystical Judaism. Telling you, you have to look at the Shoresh HaNeshama. You have to go into the source of your Neshama and find this and look at this and the Sfirot and the Kavanot, and they give you all types of letters that make a name of some angel, and they tell you for $550 you can get this and you put it on your wall, it's going to solve your problems, and then when you get more problems, it's, oh, that's because you only have the first part. You need the second part, it's $4,500. And you're so desperate you buy the second one for $4,500, and then you have even more problems. Why? Because now you're missing $5,000, and that's more problems. And they say, oh, I have a sgula for you. What? Sgula for parnasah. And they give you a sgula for parnasah. You go to some mekubal, go to some sgula for parnasah, and you buy the sgula, and you go home, and after you pay them $1,000, and guess what? Nothing changes. But it's true, it is a sgula for parnasah. It's just for him, though. Sgula for his parnasah. He got $1,000. It's good for his parnasah. One of these jokers went to Rabbi Chaim. He says, how you doing? He goes, Baruch Hashem, everything's good. He goes, what do you do? And it's the topic came out. He goes, oh, I know, I write kameh for people. You need a kameh? He tells Rabbi Chaim, he goes, you need a kameh? I'm going to write the kameh for you. He goes, what kind of kameh? He goes, I can make you a kameh for parnasah. He goes, oh, okay. No, I don't need, thank you. And he says, so how about you? Are you doing okay? He goes, the guy, the Mekubal. He goes, no, I'm struggling a little bit. Oh, what's wrong? He goes, no, Parnasah is weak. So my friend says, so why don't you write yourself a kameh? Write yourself a kameh, it's good for Parnasah, no? What do I mean to write kameh for Parnasah? It's good for their Parnasah. You giving them $1,000, it's going to help their Parnasah. It's not going to help you. And unfortunately, a lot of these fakers, they teach the masses things that have truth in them, but are simply not relevant to the speaker or the spoken. It's not relevant to the one speaking, it's not listening to the one that's listening to it. But since it's so out of the ordinary, and you start mentioning angels and special things and spirits and names, it fools the people into a state of mental numbness. They're just going to take whatever this guy says to them. They're never going to question anything that he does that's unusual. He's raising $500,000 for the shul, but the shul itself, the whole building, costs $300,000. What do you need $500,000 for? He didn't tell you. That's because the extra few hundred is for his own kitchen. You don't understand what's going on here. How come? How come this? How come that? How come nobody in the Kehillah keeps Shabbat? How come nobody in the Kehillah does anything? You don't know anything. How come this rabbi speaks so strongly against you? How come? If everything is good, how come there's so much problems? So, it's because people, Rabotai, are being taught things that are not relevant to them. Most of the time it's complete nonsense and falsehood. But it sounds good. Because they'll mention a tzaddik's name, they'll attach it to their stuff, they'll mention some things that are unusual and mystical, they'll attach it to this. They'll do all types of mishmash to make it sound like they're all knowing, and let you completely ignore the basics. And many times these reshaim that mislead the public do it in the name of Chassidut. They don't teach you the truth about Hasidut, but they'll teach you things in the name of Hasidut. So, Hasidut was started by the Baal Shem Tov. Even though Hasidut is already mentioned in the Gemara, over 1,000 years before the Baal Shem Tov was even born, Hasidut is a movement which from it, Chabad and Bobov and Vishnitz and Breslev and other Hasiduts all broke off into. And everyone says, it starts with the Baal Shem Tov. So the Baal Shem Tov, Alav Shalom, was Kodesh Kodeshim. Mamash had Ruach HaKodesh. He performed miracles that Chachamim say anyone that believes all of the stories in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, of all the mystical things that he did, literally is a fool. But anyone that doesn't believe him is a kofir. Why? What do you think? He couldn't do it? Some of the stories are 100%, as they're told. Crazy stuff. Mamash knew what's going on in Shamayim. Some of the stuff is a little bit of embellishment. But doesn't mean that he couldn't do it. He understood what's going on in Shamayim. The Baal Shem Tov had a Talmid, who originally wasn't his Talmid, was actually his enemy. Made him his Talmid. His name was the Baal Toldot, the Rabbi Yaakov Yosef, from Poland. And the Baal Toldot, one day the Baal Shem Tov comes to him and he says, I want you to be the one that is the tokeh of the shofar, blows the shofar on Rosh Hashanah for us in this holiday. To go blow the shofar. It's not like today everybody goes on the internet, goes on Amazon or something, or some Judaica store, they order a shofar. 2 months later, there's a shofar. What shofar? They learned on the internet how to blow a shofar. No, to blow a shofar, first of all, you should pick somebody that's tzaddik to blow a shofar. The rest of it is irrelevant. If you have a tzaddik, the rest of it you'll have. But anyway, the Baal Shem Tov says, I want you to be the one that blows the shofar for us. I'm not at this level. I don't know all the kavanot that you have, the takanot, the things. You go, no, don't worry. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you all the kavanot that you need to have in mind when you're blowing the shofar. And if you remember everything I teach you, you will be able to save all of Am Yisrael from any judgment for the entire year. Because these kavanot I'm going to teach you for a month straight. We're going to learn all month of Elul. We're going to learn every day, the whole month of Elul I'm going to teach you. You're going to know all the kavanot. And when you blow the shofar, this shofar, with these kavanot, these special names you'll have in your head, it's going to open all the gates where none of the prosecutors against anyone in Am Yisrael will be able to have a case. Such a schut, such a merit, such an honor, but same time such a responsibility. They start learning. He's teaching them all these things. Just so you know, kavanot, you'll find them in all of your sidurim. You'll have a little bit of it. Some of it's, the sidurim of the Mekubalim are very different than the traditional sidur. For example, the Sfirat HaOmer that you have in your sidur, Sfirat HaOmer that you have is usually 2 pages. Every sidur, 2 pages, 3 pages, Sfirat HaOmer. Today is this day of the Omer. That's many days left, and so on and so forth. The Mekubalim, their Sfirat HaOmer is a Sidur itself. 500 pages. Just for Sfirat HaOmer. We're not talking about Amidah, Shachrit. No. We're talking about just Sfirat HaOmer. That shows 2-3 pages with all the special names of angels and this and that. It's almost 500 pages. When you pray on Yom Kippur, you're going to pray in the morning for several hours. The Mekubalim, the real Mekubalim, every day is like that. The whole year. Arvit, it takes, 10, 15 minutes. Could take them 3 hours. But that's real Mekubalim. They have these kavanot, they have all these names, and so on and so forth. So the Baal Shem Tov told his Talmid, I'm going to teach you all the kavanot you need to have in your mind when you're blowing the shofar. To remember all of them. And I'm learning. He says, I can't remember all of this. I can't remember. It's too much. So, I'll write it on a piece of paper. In shorthand, so because it's so much, you can't write it all. It's going to be a whole book. In shorthand to memorize everything. Okay? Rosh Hashanah comes. Praying. The time comes for blowing the shofar. The Baal Toldot, his mind goes blank. He forgets all of the kavanot. Everything he learned for the last month, he forgets everything. So, Baruch Hashem, I have the paper. So he looks into his machzor. Paper. The paper has vanished from the world. Nothing. Now, this is the Beit Knesset of the Baal Shem Tov. It's not your regular Chabad or Breslov Center. This is the Beit Knesset of the Baal Shem Tov. All of his Keilah, Kodesh Kodashim. Everything is relying on him. Am Yisrael is relying on him right now. There's nothing that he can do. It's time to blow the shofar. He forgets everything. There's no hope in sight. And he takes it so hard, he starts hysterical crying while he's blowing the shofar. And you see water coming out of his eyes. Water, mamash, like a fountain. But he doesn't know the kavanot. He's just blowing like a regular, average guy. But he's crying, misken, the poor guy. He's like, I just let Am Yisrael down. I let the Baal Shem Tov down. I let the Keilah down. What did I do? Maybe in Shamayim, that's what they're telling me. What are you doing dealing with the things of heaven, you little nothing? Well, that's what they're telling me. Who says that we're going to allow you to have the kavanot? Who says that we want you to say these names? Who says that you have the permission to say these names? Who do you think you are? Why? Because you came to this Beit Knesset? Wait, I'm all this. Oh, wow, the guy, poor guy, takes it so hard. He's hysterical, crying, blowing the shofar. After he finishes blowing the shofar, prayer is finished. Comes to the Baal Shem Tov. He sees the Baal Shem Tov smiling like this. He's crying, miskin. He's got tears everywhere. Looks like he just had a tragedy. In his life, he did. He says, Kvod Arab, you probably know, but I forgot everything. I didn't think of any of the kavanot. He sees the Baal Shem Tov laughing. He goes, no, Kvod Arab, even the piece of paper that I wrote everything, I lost it. And he sees the Baal Shem Tov giggling. He goes, no, Kvod Arab, I not only forgot, I not only didn't have the paper, when I blew the shofar, I didn't have any kavanot at all, nothing. And he sees the Baal Shem Tov giggle. He goes, what, are you making fun of me? He says, no, my son. He says, listen, I prayed a special prayer for you to lose that piece of paper. What? You prayed for me to lose the paper? Yeah. But you're the one that taught me everything for the last month. He goes, exactly. So why? He says, I already knew you're not going to remember everything in 30 days. All those kavanot take a long time to remember. You can't remember everything in 30 days. So I knew you're not going to remember everything. But then when you came up with the idea of writing the piece of paper, I said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, take this piece of paper. Why? Because I can't steal it from you. That's gezel. So I prayed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please take away this paper somehow. And Baruch Hashem, my prayer got accepted. He says, yes, but Kvod Arav, why? Why did you teach me this just so I could fail? He says, because the kavanot, they are keys. Each kavanah is a key to a different gate in heaven. It's a key. But a broken heart full of tears, one that tried to do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but failed, but is crying about failing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, failing Am Yisrael. That breaks the whole door down. What you did, your crying, did a whole lot more than any kavanah in the world can do. So you see that even though the Baal Shem Tov knew all of the kavanot, knew all of the Kabbalah you can possibly imagine, and the Mekubalim know all of that stuff, they're never going to tell you replace broken heart with a kavanah, with the mystical stuff, with the stuff that's above and beyond nature. No, that's an extra additive. If you're an expert in everything else, then you add a little sauce on it. Then you add a little bit of flavor into it. But there's nothing ever better than the prayer of the Tinok. What's the Tinok do? My little baby Yosef, you know what he does in the morning? As soon as he wakes up, if he wants something, if he's hungry, if he has something in his pants he doesn't like, guess what he does? Wah, wah. Why? Because what babies do. They cry. They cry like HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And as soon as you give him his bottle, as soon as you change his diaper, guess what he does? He smiles. As happy as can be. That, Rabotai, is what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Simple stuff. Not the stuff, the elaborate that gets us into trouble, believing in false teachers, believing in false teachings. All of this nonsense that people are falling mamash victims to, but in reality they're also criminals themselves because they allow themselves to fall into this stuff. They're looking for a shortcut because they don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to keep Shabbat and change their behavior and be honest in their business and do all the things they're responsible. So they're looking for some shortcut. Can I just buy Judaism? Can I just buy Olam Haba? Can I just buy Gan Eden with the money that God gave me? God gave me money. Can I buy Gan Eden too? If he's God, didn't he also give you the money also? Never thought about that? No, the Rabbi never told me that. Yes, because the Rabbi never told you anything, because you never read his books even. So a lot of people say things in the name of the Rabbi. The Rabbi was a tzaddik. Don't believe anything that people say unless you read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. He has, Baruch Hashem, many books. It's all published on the internet. Most of it is free. If something that's being said by some tzaddik contradicts the reality that we learn, the basics that we learn, double check it. And I promise you, almost 100% of the time you'll see that they never said it. Almost 100% of the time you'll see they never said it, and even when they said it, they didn't say it exactly like there was some person saying it. There's nothing that's ever going to change from the Torah. The basics, basic mesirut nefesh, self-sacrifice, the basic sacrifice that we have to do in order to overcome all of the obstacles in this life, in order to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in order to arrive at Gan Eden one day, there is no two ways about it. No one can buy their ticket with money. No one can buy their ticket because they go pray to a specific tzaddik's grave. There's no shortcut. There's no easy way of doing it. If you do not learn Torah every day, you simply do not have a chance. Why? Because you're not going to know how to live a Jewish life. If you do not fulfill mitzvot as if it's air that you're breathing, you're not going to get there. And no rabbi can help you. No rabbi can help you. If you allow yourself to be vulnerable by simply depending only on what people said and not on what you read yourself, you're making yourself the victim. It's nobody else's fault. They're not going to tell you in heaven, oh, what, the rabbi over there, he misled you? Oh, okay, we'll let you in Gan Eden anyway. That's never happened in history. Why? Because even though this fake rabbi, he's going to get Genom for sure, that does not give you the right to sin. Why? Because you had to double check what he said. You still had a responsibility to learn Torah. And if you really wanted to learn the truth, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have provided to you in a silver platter, even after somebody taught you falsehood. Plenty of people come to me, Baruch Hashem, believing complete nonsense, but leave knowing the truth. To such an extent that mamash we have people that believed in 100% idolatry, in Christianity, in Catholicism. They tried to missionize me. Now, Baruch Hashem, some of them are already converted. Some of them are in the process of conversion to Judaism. They're more religious than any Jew I know. But they came to me believing in some idol, in a statue, in a man. But now they're tzaddikim. How? They were looking for the truth. They thought they had it. They thought they had the truth. But they were shown that they had falsehood, and the truth still exists, and it's not what they have. They adopted it. That's it. Finished. No convincing necessary. No, oh, let's argue. I don't argue with anybody. You argue with me, I hang up. Oh, delete. Usually it's delete because I don't usually pick up the phone. Oh, let's have a debate. No. How about that? How about an answer? No. You want to have a debate? Go debate yourself. Smash your head against the wall until it hurts enough you don't want to debate anymore. And then, when there's still, you wake up from that headache, press play on the YouTube video. Finish debate. You got action and you got information. What? What do you want? Debate means that your information has any value to me. And I'm insecure about my information. I'm perfectly secure with my information, and your information about Christianity and Catholicism has zero value to me. Zero value, zero merit. There's no debate to be had. No, but explain this. I don't want to. No, but you have to. No, I don't. There's plenty of information available to answer every question that you have. You go to my shiur, it answers 90% of your questions. If it doesn't, there's plenty of other shiurim that we recommend. Rabbi Mizrahi's debate, Rabbi Tovia Singer's, and so on and so forth, if you're coming from that part of the world. If you're coming from the Jewish world, there's Baruch Hashem over 1,000 videos, Baruch Hashem, that we've done over the last 5 years. 1,000 videos that you can learn from. By the time you learn 100, you're already a tzaddik. 200, you're a rabbi. You go learn those videos, you're never going to believe any nonsense ever again. So how come some people learn 200-300 videos but they're still kufrim? How come? Because while they're learning that, they never abandon the avodah zarah. They learn both. They're being entertained. So that's one of the things, Rabotai Kareem, that we have to understand. It's very, very important to know that, yes, there are mystical things in the world. There are things in the world that can help, but nothing goes above and beyond the basics. The basics is what we need. The basics is the only thing that's going to get us to Gan Eden. There's no shortcut whatsoever. And I promise you that the day is going to come and all of these wicked people that mislead people, they're going to have to pay for it. The question is how many people they're going to take down along with them. Realistically speaking, anyone that wants to know the truth seriously will find it. That's a promise in the Torah. That's a promise that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has in the Torah. If you're really looking for the truth, HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises to give it to you. He promises to give it to you. But if you're looking for a shortcut, you'll get that too. You'll get that too.